First off, if you have a list of customers, reach out and connect with them. So one-on-one conversations, whether it's just through an email or even through a phone call or even in-person meeting, can be really beneficial. If you're thinking about their journey and how long they're going to be interacting with you, put an automated survey or something in place partway through. So for example, we typically work with customers on a 90-day cycle. So 30 days in, we'll give them a survey like, hey, just want to check in. How is it going towards your goal? And, is there anything we can do to improve that? You want to basically have a very easy question. So for people that aren't aware, that's called like a net promoter score. And what we're looking for is at least an 8. And what we're looking for is basically, did they have a good enough experience with you that they're willing to recommend to their friends? And 2 really cool things happen from this. If you get an 8 or higher, 1, they're likely going to be talking about you and recommending you to their friends. And this is a really good opportunity for you to get testimonial from them. And then 2, if they had a really good experience, they're likely to come back and be a repeat customer. So if your product or service is something that they can continue to buy over and over again to solve the problem, they likely will. And if it's not, it then gives you an opportunity to say, okay, once people they solve this problem, what's the next problem that they're now facing? Yeah, and a big challenge with this is we often have our own biases. So when you go into a conversation, you even got to look at some of the questions you're asking and making sure you're not leading somebody a certain way. And one tip I've really found that's helped with this is asking a question and then saying, can you tell me more? Can you go a little bit deeper on that? What do you mean by this? So that follow-up question is ultimately where we can then understand that, okay, here's the surface level, but oftentimes what people think the problem isn't really the problem. So by asking those follow-up and probing questions, what we can ultimately understand is, okay, here's the real problem that they need to solve, and now we can go and solve the right problem. So this is where automation really comes in, because you want to be able to automatically have people fill the survey out and then have it all stored and in a format where you can go and find it. The other thing we'll do if we're doing a call or an interview is right after the call, reserve 5 or 10 minutes and just make notes. How did you feel in that conversation? Was it what you expected or not? And then what were some of the key call outs or highlights from that? And even building on, getting their words, what we really want to do is get into their mind. I really understood why things were so important to us, because the people we were working with had faced my challenges. So when I can now relate the stories and stuff we went through to what they're doing, now it's not just their words, but it's ultimately tapping into their feelings and their emotion. People may understand the pain, but they don't understand the impacts of that. And they don't understand how that's going to not only affect their life, but also other people around them. So sometimes it's not even about that customer, but the impact of this challenge or whatever they're facing now is having on the other people they care about in their lives. The one thing we always say is, whenever we're having a sales conversation, the goal is to help them get clarity and make a decision. So